So look, if you want to grow your wealth, your income, and increase the amount of time off, then these are the shortcuts that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast. And good morning, everybody. It's Dan. I hope you're well. Welcome to the podcast. So today is Mindset and Hustle Show. I know we do them all at different random times. I totally get that. And you know what? I'm all right with it. I don't mind. And let's talk about what to focus on. So it's Monday today. I don't know if you listen to this on the podcast or whether you're watching live. If you're watching live, welcome. Thank you very much. If you listen to the podcast, why are you not watching live? Get yourself watching live, subscribe and all of that jazz. Anyway, let's talk about start the brand new week, and let's specifically talk about how to make this week a really, really good week, because I think that's important every week. And one of the things I kind of realised over the weekend is life goes at like this, 1,000 miles an hour, and there's always this to do and that to do, and you're out and you're doing all this work, and you're like a little squirrel, scuttering around. I'm just making words up now, scattering around, running around, and you're just really busy, and life goes at 1,000 miles an hour, and then 10 years pass, and bang, and you're like, shit, how did I get here? And one of the things for me is to realise you need to slow down a little bit, which I find really difficult because I am the 1,000 miles an hour kind of person. I get an idea, it's implemented. I want to do something, I sign up, I go do it. There's no messing about, really. And sometimes that works really well. And then sometimes I do need to really just slow down and get a little bit more cerebral about the things that I'm supposed to be doing. So, for example, this week already, and it's only Monday, 10 to 11 here in Spain. So this week had a really hard, good session at CrossFit, and the plan this week is to, do 5 or 6 days of CrossFit and some running on an evening, and really dial in the diet this week. And I've really, really struggled with the diet since it got cold, basically, all the way back in November. And that's nearly 6 months, for God's sake. It is 6 months, in fact. And that's just ridiculous. And so that then has a knock-on effect, because then I'm not able to hit the fitness goals that I want to actually hit. So there's a knock-on effect there. So now, just getting a little bit more cerebral and working through my diet, what am I supposed to be eating and when, and what are the options that I can have. Otherwise, I get really bored very, very quickly with my diet. But then planning that into my calendar, signing up for some CrossFit programming that I wanted to do in addition to the CrossFit that I actually do anyway, just to gain some extra strength, which will actually help increase my performance. Bear in mind, of course, I'm 51, right? So I'm not a 25-year-old spring chicken. I wish I was. And yet I'm still kicking ass at CrossFit. I noticed a couple of people doing banded pull-ups, and I was doing non-banded pull-ups. And that's, by the way, that's fine. That's all totally fine, because everybody starts at different levels and are at different ages and have different capabilities and can run further than me and all that kind of thing, right? It all balances it out. It's one of the great things of CrossFit is that you can scale everything back, and it is a great equalizer. You might have a guy who's really strong but crap at running, and you might have a guy who's really good at running and bad at like lifting heavy or whatever. And so it's a great equalizer. It's one of the things that I absolutely adore about it. Plus the camaraderie, and every day is different. All I've got to do is put my shorts and trainers on and a t-shirt and actually get there. And programming's already worked out for us. So that's really good. But I have to get more cerebral and more consciously aware of the training that I'm doing in order to hit my own goals, which is get stronger, lose some fat around the stomach. Isn't that everybody's goal? I think that's everybody's goal, isn't it, really, these days? And we have varying degrees of success when we do that. But just getting these in a plan and organised, and my week is organised. So, I've got a 2:30 p.m. session on Thursday with Lars. I've got a 7:30 p.m. running session with Charlotte. And then every morning I've had the normal CrossFit sessions as well. And I'm always looking to where can I add extra bits in there, and how can I improve on my diet that will enable better performance, and just getting really more self-conscious. Now, if you think about this from a business point of view, that's exactly what you should be doing in business as well. And a lot of people don't do that because they just go, well, Dan, I need to build a house, and, oh, look, a pile of bricks, and I start, piling bricks up, putting cement on, and then I stand back and I have this house and everything's all higgledy-piggledy because there's no plan. And so you've got to get this plan in there. And one of the problems is, I think, as well, In fact, I'll talk about one of the problems in the planning section, because that's something I want to talk about. And then when I look at my marketing for this week, if I compare my marketing for this week with my marketing that was sent out last week, there's massive gaps this week. So last week, for example, and I can share screen here actually, and I'm going to share my screen. I'm just waiting for it to upload. That's sent. Oh, I need to go to last week. I will share screen so you can actually see what I'm looking at as well. So this is last week. Okay, so let me share this. I think you'll find this quite interesting, folks. This is our software content planner. This is what we use to schedule all our content. So 8 a.m. we got videos going out every single morning. 9:30 a.m. we've got stuff going out, and 10 a.m. on Wednesday for some reason. And then we've got various things going out at whatever time that is, 10:30. And then 11 o'clock, there's quite a bit of content that goes out almost every day. 1 p.m. content goes out almost every day. 2 p.m. some videos that go out. And then we're up to 4 p.m. and Tuesday and Thursday we've got content going out at 4. Monday at 4:30, Friday at 5 o'clock. And then 8 p.m. we've got more content going out, and then other pieces of content going out at 9. And when I look at that, that's an all right week for us. I mean, think about this, right? Think about how many pieces of content are just in that 7 days. Should we add them up? And if you're wondering why your business isn't closing business, then this could be why. So we've got, let me see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, is that 5? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 37 pieces of content. By the way, what is that? What's 37 divided by 7? So we average about 5 pieces of content every single day. And that's an all right week for us. This week, it's much less. And so now I need to go and work on the content. And so, for example, this live, we'll then split this up into little short pieces of content, and then we'll distribute that out for this week. And then tomorrow's live, we'll take that bit of content, whatever that is, chop that up into small pieces and distribute that for the week. And what we really want to do is, if we can get live every single day this week, we have 5 lives, each one between 10 and 20 minutes long. There's a good opportunity for us to have content, not only to go out this week, but also to go out next week. So let's take a look at the content that we've got this week for you. And I'm happy to share this, by the way. I think it's quite interesting for you guys to see. So let me transition this over here. So we're on Monday. I think a piece of content went out this morning. So we got, let me do the day one, actually. That's easier for you to see. And actually, it's quiet today. Like, we've not got that much content going out. That's Sunday, so let me move to today. There we go. So, going out today then, I think we've got maybe 3 or 4 pieces. So, we've got one at 10, 12. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we've got 6 pieces of content. I'm not going to argue with that. That's all right. That's not bad at all. Let's look at that on a weekly basis. 6 pieces of content going out today. Like, compare that with how much you've got going out. And by the way, this is not, stuff that I'm just then typing. I'm sat at the beach bar, for example, which I often do. I take the laptop down and I sit at the beach bar, and then I'll take a picture, and then I'll post something. That's not, this is all pre-scheduled stuff. This is not stuff that's on an ad hoc basis that I think, I'll post this. This is already pre-scheduled. So all that business stuff can be pre-scheduled, which is what you should be doing. And then when you're going through about your normal day, and, there's no fruit and veg at your supermarket, and you post that, or there's a beautiful view and you post that, or your dog's done something funny and you post that. This is in addition to all that stuff, because it's all pre-scheduled. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the best of the month as well, because I think you'll find that quite interesting. But each column here is a piece of content, and we need more, believe it or not. Because that's what marketing is. It's about getting all your content out. So this is April. Let me show you May as well, because I think you'll find this quite interesting. This is the whole of May. Is that a week? Yeah, that's a weekly basis, I think. Oh no, that is the monthly basis. So each day, so you got Monday, the 29th, let's go. Wednesday the 1st of May, there you go. Thursday the 2nd, Friday the 3rd, and this is all of May. We have a lot of content that goes out on repeat, but it goes out on repeat like every 6 to 10 weeks. So we can set the same piece of content to go out. I mean, this is a significant amount of content. And you wonder how we generate leads. This is how we generate leads. We have a lot of content going out. And, I kind of rattle on about it, but we tend not to show this. And actually, we should probably show this a little bit more, because people are like, oh my God, that is a lot of content, Dan. And I'm like, yes, that's why we're able to generate leads like we do for both us and our clients. And I can't show you our clients because it's private, of course, but they have something similar. They have a lot of content going out. Let's talk about planning, shall we? So, the next bit really is about planning your week. And it's not just about planning your week. So what happens is that we have these tremendous goals that are out there. And this is what we want to do. And, I'll take a weight loss goal. So, we go to the United States in July, which I'm really looking forward to, but I actually want to lose a bit of weight until then. So we got about 10 weeks, I think, until we go. So then I'm like, okay, can we lose like a pound a week is like 5 kilos, ish. Can we lose a kilo a week? It's pushing it. Maybe 3/4 of a kilo would do it in 10 weeks, 7.5 kilos. Actually, I'm dead on target, then for my target weight, which would work really well. But that's the overall goal. That's not what happens on a daily basis. We don't lose 7.5 kilos in a day. The longer goal, that's that big vision. The shorter goal comes down to, what's your diet going to be for the week? What are you going to eat right now? What are you going to do when you get really hungry and you're ravenously hungry and you're so desperate to eat something and you start eating chocolate and sweets? That's me, by the way. That's what I do. And so, like, how can you improve on that? And how can you plan the food prep and the meal prep to make sure you've got enough calories because you're working out so much and you're going to the gym 5 days a week or whatever that happens to be for you? The planning aspect has to be done on a daily basis. So it's fine for me to show you what's happening 3 months from now on our digital marketing calendar. What's going out today? That's a better question. What are you going to eat today? That's a better question. Who are you going to email today? That's a better question. Who are you going to follow up with? What delivery? We're going to talk about delivery shortly, but what delivery of services are you personally going to provide for your clients? So if we just go back to sharing the screen again, and show you this. And I recognise I'm kind of in the way there a little bit. That's fine. But you can see here, so at 10 a.m. we got something going out. That's just gone out, actually, more than likely. We got something going out at 12, something at 2, something at 5, and something at 8. And actually, you know what? I'm all right with that. That's enough content for today. But let's look at tomorrow's. And this is where, having these big grandiose visions is fine, but then you have to move it down to these smaller bite-sized chunks, So our first piece of content isn't till 11 a.m. We need an 8 a.m. piece of content. And then we could probably do with one at 6 and maybe even one at 8. Like, why not? Because, what happens? People are lying in bed or they're sick watching Netflix, right? How many times are you sat watching Netflix? And you're never just watching Netflix, are you? You've always got your phone in your hand. I know this because everybody does it. Okay, we've got one at 9. This is on Wednesday. But look, we've got a big gap here. So we've got to fill some of these gaps. And so this is about us being more cerebral, about being consciously aware about the content that's going out in order to then create the content and publish it and fill those gaps. And this is the same with your food, for example, if it's fitness. What food are you buying? One of the big things about losing weight is to have all the food that you want actually in, and all the sweets that you would normally eat, not have those in. You have to go out and buy them from the shop. Get in the car, go to the shop just to buy some sugary sweets or chocolate or whatever it happens to be. That makes it much more difficult. So then it's much easier to just go and have chicken and pasta, chicken and rice, whatever that happens to be. scrambled egg on bagel, whatever that happens to be, right? So you should be planning your meals. You should be planning your marketing, planning your content. You should be planning your follow-up sequence. You should be planning your planning. When are you going to plan? Like, I did mine this morning just after the shower and before CrossFit. That's actually not the best time for me to plan. The best time for me to plan my week is on a Sunday night. And if you get the time management training, which is like £3 on our website, that goes into why you should do it on a Sunday night, not on a Monday morning. And, you know, I'm only human like everybody else, so we don't get it right every time. But you should be planning your planning. And when are you going to do that? When's that going to slot into your calendar? Let's talk about delivery of services. So the way that we actually deliver our services is that we have a whole team of people whose sole job is to deliver client services. That's not my job. I do get involved from time to time with ideas or experience or copy or, hey, what about this idea? So we do quite a bit of that. But I'm not the button pusher. I'm not the one editing videos or creating content or doing website design or any of that kind of thing. We have a delivery person that manages the team that does all of that. And so when you're looking at your business for the rest of this week, you know, one of the problems that we used to have was we'd sell a website and then we're like, oh no, now we sold a website. Now we've got to do a website. And it used to be really painful for me and it actually affected sales. Now we sell a website and it's like, brilliant, we sold a website. Someone else is actually going to fulfill the delivery of that process. So if this is you and you are the person, let's say you were a will writer and then you're the person having to write the will, you should be out networking at networking events every single day and speaking to people. Have you got your will yet? What happens when you die? Like, and giving examples of what happens to people when they're dying that haven't got a will, right? That's how you should be closing business. But if you're then having to actually write the wills, that's not going to be as successful as you could be when you should be out networking and building those relationships. And so you should be thinking about what is the delivery of your service looking like and who is the delivery person. And if that's you, I would suggest really that you need to have a think about that and maybe transition away from that. Anyway, look, I hope you found that useful and let me know if you did. That's really useful. And we'll catch up with you in the next one tomorrow. Have yourselves a wicked day and we'll speak to you soon. Take care. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.